All right, good morning, ladies and gents. Glad to have each and every one of you on the call on this morning. We are excited, as always. Welcome to Build Exclusively with Antonio T. Smith Jr. Again, glad to have each and every one of you on. Today is Tuesday. That's the day of this call. All right. Well, I'm about to hand it over to greatness. All right, all the way from she's the BOI, all the way from G-Town, Texas. Okay. We call her the Care Bear, okay, Rainbow one, okay. We all love her. She will be teaching us on this morning. It's not enough I can say about her. Everybody loves her once they need her, okay? Miss D. Marie.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Building Exclusively with Antonio T. Smith Jr. I do understand that I'm not a black chocolate man with locks. I understand these things, but I will be building today. So I thank each and every one of you for joining me. I do want to announce that Antonio will not be on any calls until he releases Rhino Leg. Very serious and very adamant about that. So I will be your teacher until Rhino Leg is released. We've been up since 4 a.m. The fact that I'm this awake 4 hours later is surprising to me. So, because normally I would have been like, yeah, I need a quick nap. But I thank each and every one of you for joining us. Again, Antonio will not be on any calls until he releases Rhino Leg, until he launches it. But I will be teaching all of you until then. Well, not teaching, but we're going to be conversing with each other until then. So today I want to talk to you guys about how Antonio taught me this weekend to consistently overperform and over-deliver with AI. Now, we all know Antonio. He's all about making sure your facial expression. He always wants to make sure that you are on the right seat of the bus. So over the weekend, because he knows what my seat is, I don't sales, no sales. Yeah, I'm not.
Deanna, do you know where your seat is?
Wherever I want it to be, Uncle Rummy. Right now, it is just being an assistant and helping Antonio, like this class this morning.
Isn't that something? He knows where your seat is at, but you don't. You know you got one, but he knows where it's at. Come on, man. Come on.
And I'm loving it. And you can't over deliver or overperform consistently unless you're using your natural gifts. And imagine if you use your natural
gifts. Wait. Say that one more time. That's a note. Wait a minute. You can't overperform consistently or over deliver.
Oh, thank you, Grace, because you asked me to repeat something, and my brain is not like Antonio's. Once I said it, it was gone. But thank you for repeating. I can go back to it. I can reach back and grab it. Okay. You can't consistently overperform and over deliver if you're not using your natural gifts. So I've been working on a project for Mr. Phil and Miss Susan. And in order for me to consistently overperform and over deliver, I need to be using my gifts. So my question to each of you is, how many of you are not using your natural gifts, and how many of you are not taking advantage of the AI?
First of all, get out my business, okay?
My bad.
Get it. Okay. Me and Jerome saying the same thing. Get out of here.
My bad. I didn't know.
No, but for real, I'm working on something for Mr. Phil this season too. And yes, I got to use my gift that I have to get it done. And I'm sitting there all day, unless mom and dad say, "Hey, Grace, get," I was getting it over there getting it done. But yeah, I'm not as administrative as you are, but I know, how things need to be looked and need to be organized. And this is why he asked me to take notes. So yeah. So
Grace, have you ever seen me volunteer to take a note?
No.
I've seen my notes compared to your notes, I'm not gonna lie, Grace. I wait for you to post the notes. I don't even write my own notes anymore because your natural gift in notes. Perfect example. Grace can over deliver and overperform when it comes to notes because she takes her natural ability of taking notes. Then what she does is she enhances her natural ability with AI. See, there's a lot of stuff that Antonio has her doing just based on the notes alone that nobody knows about, but it's enhancing her natural ability. You can easily overperform and over deliver when you're using your natural gifts and you use AI to enhance that. Who here, like genuinely, who here is nervous about AI? Who here is like, it's gonna fade? Answer this question to yourself. I don't want to put anybody on blast. Answer it to yourself, okay? I'm not gonna do y'all like that. Who here is like, when it comes to AI, they're like, you know what? I recognize it's a good thing. I understand, but I'm just gonna make sure that I learn it. I don't really need to teach anyone else who's helping me, because it's not that big of a deal. It's not gonna change too much. You know what I'm saying? But then and who is the one who's like, you know what? This is what's gonna be. Let's go ahead and get the best of the best. And I'm going to teach my team so we can all do this together. In order for you to consistently overperform and over-deliver with AI, you first have to recognize who you are. So I'm going to break down into, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because if you don't understand who you are, you're not going to naturally, if you don't know what your natural abilities are, if you don't know who you are, then when it comes to overperforming and using AI to do that, you're going to be nervous. You're just not going to do it. I'm not going to lie. When Antonio first started talking about artificial intelligence and chat GPT and all this and all that, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but cool. And every day he taught us, he walked with us and broke down to us what he was doing in his natural ability to overperform and over deliver. And I started paying attention. I'm like, I may want to hone in on that. And then I will and you can even ask Grace, because I think it happened to Grace a couple of times. When we had questions, we would go to Antonio, be like, hey, how do I do this? And be like, don't ask.
Why you asking me?
Don't ask ChatGPT. Because what AI will do is it'll enhance your natural ability. So if you're artistic, there are artistic AI programs that you can use to enhance what you naturally are. If you're a writer, there's AI that you can use to enhance your natural ability to write. If you're an artist, there's AI that you can use to naturally enhance the artwork that you provide. But know who you are so you know how to effectively use it. So see, I was talking to Antonio and he distinguishes 4 types of CEOs. Now, these 4 types of CEOs, Grace, I'm gonna help you out. I ain't even gonna do it to you like that. Just go ahead and
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, check your line out. There you go. Got you covered.
Thank you.
There are 4 different types of CEOs. So now, for some of you to say I'm a CEO makes you a little nervous. So let me put it to you this way. There are 4 types of business owners. There's 4 types of entrepreneurs. There's 4 types of people that run stuff. See who you are, because if you understand who you are, Antonio always tells us, if you can account for it, you can control it. So I'm going to give you the 4 types of CEOs. And I want you to think for a second. And then I'm going to ask questions. This is interactive. I do want some feedback on this, guys, because I want us to all be in the same place. I had to go through this process. I had to realize, okay, Deanna, you ain't really doing as much as you can do. And why is that? Well, because my thought process on AI, well, ChatGPT, my thought process on in video, my thought process on the script, my thought process on whatever you can think of. It was my thought process. And you have to realize, okay, what part of my thought process is stopping me from over delivering and over performing? So I'm going to give you the four types of the four types of CEOs that Antonio distinguishes. And then we're going to break down what you think each of these are based on what I say. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what their characteristics are. Use this as not a pendulum, a scale to see where you are. Because once you determine, okay, I'm here. Okay, now that you're here, let's move from here to here and match your natural abilities with AI. Easy, right? Go ahead, Grace.
Are you saying your thought process determines how you consistently overperform and over deliver with AI? Okay, that's it, mean yes. Thank you so much. Put it in your notes.
Deanna,
Yes, sir.
my brain is doing that thing it does.
I love it.
And I hear the overperforming and over delivering, and for business growth, that's fantastic. But my brain is saying, before I can over deliver, before I can overperform, I need to deliver and I need to perform. So I'm
Sir.
sitting going, hold up, Deanna. Because the train has left the station, or you're doing 70 or 100 miles an hour, and I'm still back here doing about 20 or 30, like, well, sometimes I'm not delivering. Sometimes I'm not performing. She talking about over? Shoot. So let me sit here and be quiet and don't say nothing, and maybe she won't find out. Well, so that, now again, I'm falling on my sword. I'm just, and I'm not trying to sabotage, or undermine, but that's what's running through my head right now. Because this morning, when I got up this morning to go out and do what I had to do before I got on this call, that was one of the things that was running through my head about Jerome. You should have did this. Jerome, you should have done that. Jerome, you didn't do this. Oh, now you need to do these, boom, 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 boom. But those other 3 or 4, I didn't have an excuse for why they didn't get done. And I knew they needed to get done in order to do the other stuff. I just wanted to share.
No, thank you for sharing, because if you can't acknowledge that, you can't over deliver. You can't overperform. And that's actually that's why I was saying these 4 different types of CEOs, don't look at it as a CEO. Look at it as, okay, this is me as a person. This is my work ethic as a person. This is how my thought process as a person, because once you can acknowledge that, you just acknowledge, okay, look, I'm talking about overperforming and over delivering. Well, I need to perform and deliver first. And I get that because we get in those modes where, I see your hand, Miss Susan, we get in those modes where it's like, I got all this stuff. What am I supposed to do? Like, I got this, like, Uncle Robin, I have so many projects. I can't begin to express to you how many projects I have. But because I'm not using my natural gift 100% of the time, and then I'm not enhancing that with artificial intelligence, I'm falling short. So thank you, Uncle Romy Ron, for falling on the sword, because when we all can acknowledge, okay, look, I'm not even gonna lie, this artificial intelligence stuff, no, I don't want it. When you can acknowledge that and actually say, okay, this is how I feel, then you can control it. So when someone comes at you and be like, okay, artificial intelligence, you can be like, okay, pause. Don't get triggered because you feel some kind of way about it. Listen to what they say, because it can probably actually help you in the production of things you need to do so you can deliver for yourself and perform for yourself. Because when you deliver and you perform for yourself, you feel so much, if it feels good, when you can go to sleep at night knowing, oh, I did that. Oh, I did that too. Yeah, I did that too. And then you start performing and delivering more. And then you start overperforming and over delivering because you're in your gift. You recognize this is my issue. So let me focus. Let me work on that. Go ahead, Miss Susan.
Well, for the AI, people in general, people that are not on these calls that are getting the awareness, and people in, companies that are training them and all of that, but just the population as a whole, is afraid. And, to some extent, I think we are too. We don't know the total outcome. They have to put filters up of what it can do, and they're working on that. But I don't know if they can stay ahead of it all the way. So that, there's that issue, and you're going to come across people like that. But it's not affecting anything now, only for the good if you use it for good. But there's a lot of bad already out there. I heard on the news that someone, through AI got someone's identity and, did a whole scam thing that someone was kidnapped and, all that sort of thing. So there's all that starting, there are bad people out there, and they filter into everything that goes on. So this is no different. It's just can be more of that. But, I always say actions speak louder than words. When it comes to running your business, doing the things that need to be done, you have to take action. You can't just, say I have a business, small business or whatever, and not take action. You really do. It's an everyday thing, even if it's just for a little bit. And I think the best thing that I ever did at the end of the day, when I clean my desk, I write down what I'm going to start with the next day, what has to be done, and get started on it early. I like to do my big, heavy work early and then do lighter work later in the day because I have more energy in the morning. But it could be different for other people. You may not have that in the morning. So do those other tasks and then do the heavy things in the afternoon and early evenings. So that's how I, have done that. And as a business owner for over 40 years and keeping it going, no matter what the situation's going on in your life, you need to do that. You cannot make excuses. There's a whole thing, I think Wayne Dyer wrote a book, Excuses Be Gone, and I don't tolerate it, and I don't want to work with people that do that. It frustrates me, it holds me back, and when we would hire people, I would observe and look for those things, and if they didn't fit, they weren't there with us that long. So that's how you got to think of it, and think of that yourself. You are the CEO of you, no matter what it is you're doing. So this applies no matter what you're doing for everyone on this call.
Thank you, Miss Susan, because you're actually segueing, that's the segue, right? Segueing me into the 4 different types of CEOs.
And before I finish, Deanna, and get off, I recognized your abilities, and I've said it before, from the first time I met you, and you have so many gifts, you just didn't recognize them or didn't utilize them. And, now you're seeing more of that. Sometimes you don't, but for the most part you do. And you just need to hold your head up, put those shoulders back and say, yes, I am, and I can do, and I will do, because you're amazing. The talents and gifts that you have, you really are, and the way you retain things and pick things up quickly. So go for it.
Thank you, Miss Susan. Thank you so much. Yay. See? Okay, thank you, Miss Susan. Using your natural gifts with AI. I'm a kid. Thank you, Miss Susan, for saying what you said, because before I get into CEOs, I'm gonna give you guys an example. Thank you so much, Miss Susan. I'm a big kid. What do kids do the most?
Play.
What else do they do, Grace? Because you got like hundreds of kids running around the island. She didn't birth them. For those watching this later, she did not birth them. Grace was a teacher for 11 years. Okay. The biggest thing kids do is ask questions.
Oh, yes. Oh my, yes.
So if one of my natural gifts is being a big kid and kids ask questions, guess what I'm gonna do with AI?
I have a question.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk you guys through using your natural gifts with AI. So I have a question. And I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, look, I need you to answer this question for me. I actually did this and I told Grace when I did, I ain't like the response I got back from ChatGPT. It was on point. It wasn't wrong. I just didn't want that answer. I didn't want that answer. It gave me some clarification on some stuff and I didn't like the clarification, but it's okay.
You sound like Tracy from yesterday.
But I asked ChatGPT a question. This is how you over-deliver and overperform. I have an app, a book, and a workbook that I'm working on, all centered around empaths and emotional intelligence. But guess where that started? Because I had a question. I went to ChatGPT. AI, in my natural gift of being a kid and asking questions, I had a conversation with ChatGPT. Then I took that, and in my natural gift of wanting to share the information, because kids love sharing new stuff that they learn, I was like, well, if that's the case, then why don't I write a book about it and help someone else? So what do? I go to ChatGPT in my natural gift and be like, hey, I want to write a book about this. Can you give me some chapters? Like give me 25 chapters about this and break down to me like what these chapters should talk about. Because my natural gift is creating. My natural gift is not organization. It is not organization. So look, if you say, hey, I need this to look like this, I can sit down and draw that sucker out. But if you tell me, hey, I need you to plan this from step 1 to step 12, I'm going to look at you like, okay, can you give me one? Give me a start. Okay, I got one. Okay, what's number 2? Okay, I got 2. So what's 3? Can you, what's this? That's not me. I'm not a step-by-step person. If you give me step-by-step, I got you. But if you want me to create step-by-step, that's not my natural gift. After the book, I'm like, well, some people I listened to Antonio teaching. It's like, well, you know what? This book could be a course. Okay, so what do I do? As a kid, I'm using my natural gift of wanting to share it. So now I'm thinking of different platforms I can share. So I go to artificial intelligence, like, hey, can you help me with this? What it's doing is enhancing my natural gifts so I can over deliver and overperform and be the kid in my natural gift and share this amazing information with the world. If your natural gift is strategic thinking, use artificial intelligence to maximize that strategicness, because artificial intelligence, you tell it, this is what I want. And it's like, okay, we'll do it like this. Strategic, step by step by step. That's an example of using your natural gift with artificial intelligence, because when I do the course, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to InVideo, put my words in there, and be like, hey, go ahead and create me a video for this. I appreciate it. I'm using artificial intelligence to enhance so I can over deliver and overperform. Well, you know what? I really thought about making this audio. So what can I do? Well, there is the script. If you record your voice for 30 minutes, they'll approve it for you. And you can use that audio and create and put in your script and create audio for it. Cool. Using AI to naturally enhance your gifts so you can over deliver and overperform. But before you do any of that, you have to determine what kind of CEO of your life are you? What kind of CEO of your business are you? And Antonio distinguishes 4 types of CEOs. And I would love for everyone to unmute and give me examples of what you think how you think this type of CEO would approach their responsibilities. So first we have the ineffective CEO. They're often known for a nonchalant approach to their responsibilities, rarely giving due importance to any aspect of their role. So how do you think this person responds to what do you think this person does? Like, how do you think this person acts? You've met them. You've experienced them.
I don't like it. I don't like this AI. I'm not learning it. I'm not doing it. I don't understand it. So I'm not, You young folk can have it. Or somebody that's young, that would be like, now I don't, there are few and far between, but there may be somebody that, in the 30s or what have you, or in my generation, me and Adrian could easily be like, man, you know what? No, something else I gotta learn new now. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? But I'm just saying.
Well, I appreciate you. Uncle Romy Rome?
Yes, ineffective CEO is big on delegating, and not only delegating, but when it goes wrong, placing the blame. I've worked for a couple of those in my lifetime.
Thank you, Uncle Romy Rome, and thank you, Grace. Like I said, y'all, you have either an effective CEO or you are the ineffective CEO. But you have to know who you are so you can control what that is, so you can flow into your natural gifts, and then you can get AI and you can over deliver and overperform. So that's the ineffective CEO. The ineffective CEO, we know not getting it done. They just be like, whatever. Thank you, Grace. They may resist or ignore the shift towards AI, viewing it as unnecessary or even threatening. How many of you in your businesses came across something new and you was like, that ain't gonna last. Oh, that's unnecessary. Or your response is, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is gonna destroy me. That's what ineffective CEOs do. They're unlikely to invest significantly in AI tools or training. Please understand, every single one of you on here have invested in AI and training. If you are on this call, you have invested your time. If you have GPT, you have invested. If you have Descript, you have invested. If you have InVideo, if you have anything AI related, you have invested. They may not actively involve themselves or their teams in the AI development process. I can for sure say every person on here has tapped into some AI, some form of AI to get your work done. They may dismiss customer feedback related to AI experiences, failing to see the value in leveraging such insights for improvement. Every last one of you here, I'm pretty confident. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but don't do it on camera. Don't die on the sword. You know, Uncle Romy Rome died just about every week. We don't want nobody else to die today, okay? And we appreciate you, Uncle Romy Rome, but you know, just back off the sword just a little bit on this. You got a few wounds, okay? No, we appreciate you though. We really do. If a customer comes to you and they're like, look, I had this issue. I have full confidence that each and every one of you would use that to improve what you're doing. So I think it would be safe to say that none of you are ineffective CEOs because you're here. And I mean, and again, what Miss Susan was saying, if you haven't pushed your brand out there yet, if you haven't started your business yet, you're still a CEO because you are the chief executive officer of your life. You have a COO, your spouse, your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, best friend, you have a COO. So it's safe to say, I don't think any of you are ineffective CEOs. Now, what I'm running down to y'all, I did this in my own brain. I'm gonna let y'all know now. I did this in my own brain to myself. So please understand, I know which CEO I am. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because you have to do some self-examination. If you are working and you're doing this, or you have unfinished projects, or everything you do is completed and out there, whatever it is, you still have to examine and sit down and examine yourself and be like, okay, that didn't work, this didn't work. Not finished here, not finished there. Or, man, I can literally take off for a year. My company will still run. You have to sit and evaluate these things, because in evaluation, you understand, okay, what am I missing? You know what? Maybe if I maximized on artificial intelligence, I can kind of put some of this stuff in a position where I don't have to do it, because it's just me. And I know a lot of y'all, it's just you. You don't have a team of 200 people. Heck, you don't have a team of 2. It's just you. But if you use your natural ability, the one thing that I have learned is if you work, you use who you are and you enhance who you are, what you need will come to you. That I have learned. So we're going to move to the next CEO, the average CEO. They show dedication to the internal operations of their organizations. They are committed to refining the operational aspects of the business behind the scenes. So with that being said, what type of CEO do you think this is? Is this a CEO that when it comes to AI, they're like all in?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they'll acknowledge it and be like, okay, let's see what it's about. But if they're average, they may think about using it every once in a while, but won't really hone in and say, hey, this will really work for the company. This will really boost every area, every department of the company, sales, marketing, all that kind of stuff. Because they're average. And average CEOs do average things, just like average people do average things.
Those who are average, things that chat GTP are extra work. So the question becomes, do I have to do more? Because they're only paying me enough to pay my bills and whatever anyway. Now I got to do something else. Wait a minute. Now, if they can see that that's going to maybe give them a raise, okay, or get them a promotion, then you pick their interest. But why I'm gonna do extra work and I ain't getting no more money? That's that average thinking person like, no. Now, if y'all gonna do something like that, okay, well, we'll talk. Other than that, I ain't running to that. That's more work. That's more of my time. Where's more of my money?
Come on, Uncle Roman Rome. Look, well, the average CEO, they may acknowledge the need for AI, but struggle to fully integrate it into their operations. They invest in AI tools, but may not allocate sufficient resources for training or development. Like Uncle Roman Rome just said, oh yeah, I see it's there. Am I gonna get more money for it? If I know how to use it and if I use it, I'm not, you can leave that way over there. I'm not gonna do extra work just so you can get some more money in my pocket, still stay empty. We're not gonna do that. Mm-mm. The average CEO, they invest in, average CEO may involve themselves in the AI process, but not fully engage their teams. See, if you're the CEO, and you have the thought process like Grace and Uncle Roman Rome just said, you may invest in it, but you're not going to fully get into it. You're not going to give it to your team because in your head was like, well, I got to pay them more if I have them do more. I got this AI service, because everybody said I should have it, I'm a CEO, so CEOs should know these things. So I'll have it, but I'm not finna go and waste time and money training my employees for it just so they can have an extra skill set. So when they come asking me for a raise, they can throw up in my face. They got an extra skill set and deserve the extra money. Y'all know people think like this. Okay, don't play me. Y'all know people think like this. It's horrible they do, but they do. But if you're that CEO, what kind of team do you have? If you're that kind of CEO of your own life, how much? I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Not this morning.
And the other thing, Diana, is if I get them trained in AI and they have that skill set, they may quit and go somewhere else or start their own thing. And I done spent all my money and it's gone now. Come on now. We ain't doing that.
But if we would listen to the original humor consultants and we work smart and have fun while making this money, we would understand that if we incentivize our employees, if we give them a reason, if we tell them what's in it for them, but on top of, if we don't know who we are, how we gonna help make sure they're on the right seat of the bus? Because if they're on the right seat of the bus, we know it's just a boost in production and delivery if we introduce them to artificial intelligence, and we won't have these issues, because if they're on the right seat in the bus, they love what they're doing. And if you're telling them, hey, guys, I'm going to train you on something that will help enhance and make your job easier, they will be like, come on, boss, let's do this. I'm ready. They were like the little babies when the babies were like, give me. Y'all know the little kids, that little bitty hands. And that's what they'll do. That's what your employees will do. They're okay. Before, Antonio used to give me stuff, I'm like, yeah, you want to make 100 sales calls? That's not in my ministry. That's out of my spirit. But if you say, hey, I need your ID, I need your help. I'm trying to figure out how this may look. Like when we were sitting down doing the game with his board game, he was like, but he kept saying, I don't know how it's going to look. I need to design it. I was like, shoot. How many squares you want? How do you want it to look? What do you need on it? Oh, that's all you need? I got you. Drew it out. Because he asked me to help him, and I was on the right seat of the bus, so I enjoyed doing it. But when I was on the wrong seat of the bus and he asked me to do some stuff, I don't know about that. So I'll give you this stuff to make your life easy. I don't want you to make easy what I don't like. But if you understand who you are as a CEO, you will understand who you have on your team. So, are you the average CEO? I've already said, I don't believe any of you are ineffective CEOs. But ask yourself, am I the average CEO? Or am I what's called the good CEO, the one who concentrates on both the internal operations and the external performance of the business? The good CEO appreciates the need for a well-oiled machine and the quality of its output.
Okay, hold on.
Gotcha.
Are y'all awake out there? Today is Tuesday, not Monday.
I'm
She-
listening.
She said it's interactive and participatory today. Some of y'all that be talking all the time ain't talking. What y'all doing? Y'all intentionally listening or actually listening and ain't got to say what is going on? Be
I'm
interactive.
doing a little bit of everything.
All right. Well, Miss Sanders, we know you hide behind boxes.
Yeah, Miss Central behind boxes.
Right,
She
right.
Y'all know Grace a teacher. Y'all know Grace a teacher.
Come on.
Come
Well,
on, y'all, let's interact.
I say this is now I was in terms of AI, I know that I'm not just gonna be an average one. I'm not gonna be ineffective. That's why it's great for me to know what AI is, because there are a lot of people, especially writers, especially, that may not even know what it is. And I want to always stay abreast of every technology that is out or even coming out, because that's only going to help me get in front of it so I can have it to work for me. I had somebody ask me that, she was like, Renee, what do you think about AI? And I said, I know what it is. I know what's going on with it, but I'm choosing to get in front of it so I know how to make it work for me, how it works for my business. So it's, as a writer, it looks a little different because it's doing the writing, but there are some things, you can really get in front of it and really help it to work for you. So I know that's one thing that I don't want to be an ineffective CEO. I don't want to be an average. I want to be one that be like, yeah, we heard about this. Oh yeah, I already knew about that. That's been out for like 7 months. It's been out for like a year. Yeah, I knew about it. But now it's starting to affect. So I want to be able to train my people so they can know. But I always want to stay 20 moves ahead of my people, and that's at minimum. So yeah, I definitely don't want to be ineffective. I definitely don't want to be an average, but I can't be an average or ineffective anything because I'm me, and I try not to be ineffective or average in anything. So that's just part of Renee.
Well, Renee, that's a great segue into great CEOs, because you said a lot of things that are characteristics of great CEOs. You said, I want to be ahead of the curve. I want to learn in advance. When someone comes to you and say, hey, did you hear about, and you like, yeah, it's been out about 6 months right now. That's what great CEOs do. They're ahead of.
Were you done with the good CEOs?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You were?
Thank you. Renee she boosted me. See, that's what happened.
I'm sorry, homie. I'm sorry.
No, you good. That's what happened when we open up the doors of the church and you come on in and talk. Come on up to the front voluntarily, because
Deanna, it's not your fault. It's Grace's fault. Because she
got
pulled
my
out the
hands
whip
up.
and went, whoosh, and that's because.
It is. I haven't felt that whoosh since my mama. I tell you, I was like, she even had her tone a little bit, and I said, "Oh Jesus!" Flashback.
She's a teacher. Grace is a teacher. Grace is that teacher that, hey, I said this is the class engagement. Where's the engagement? But seriously, you guys, come on, talk back to me. Y'all know I like to talk. I don't want to lecture. I like to talk. So talk with
Okay,
me.
thank you.
Have a
I'm
conversation.
with, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. It's Stephanie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. I was just very much attentively listening to what you were saying. And I just felt that like everything that you're saying is what I'm currently dealing with this morning. So that's why I'm really quiet, because over the weekend, I started working on an ebook for Generation Z youth or young people who deal with struggling with being, when they deal with like mental health situations, and when they deal with difficult challenges that face them in life, and then they just fall back and don't know how to find their place again. And you know, you guys kind of said it, a lot of us are good at a lot of things, and we try to do all these things all at one time and not hone in on just one thing that we're really, really good at, and go for it regardless of the resilience that we're going to face in that process. So I'm just really just attentively listening to what you're saying in regards to all this coming together, and the CEOs, and finding which CEO I am and all that good stuff. So I just want to let you know that I'm listening.
Thank you, Ms. Stephanie. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the ebook. We
Thank
all know, just about every last one of us on here know that process. So we are proud of you. Okay. We are very proud of you. So keep it up.
Hey, I'm just trying to help all of us out, because even though he is not on
Uh-oh.
this call, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to help all of us out, because even though he's not on this call, he is
I already
going
know
to
it's-
ask her. He is going to ask her, hey, how'd the call go? And if she goes, man, really wasn't nobody talking, he gonna be like, oh, okay, I got y'all. Shut it down. And we all gonna be stuck. So please come on. You see how she's sipping that coffee? Because she know I'm right. Okay? Just come on. Just come, just say a little something, so we keep this going.
So with that being said, Grace pretty much almost verbatim. Almost verbatim. Said what Antonio said. He said, there's an interactive class. He said, they're supposed to talk. I would shut it down. We are not teaching. We are building. They are watching us build. I was like, okay. He said, look now, you know what you're doing. Go on now. Interact. Talk to them. Let them talk back to you. I was like, yes, sir. He said, I know you got this. I know you got this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But he know me. Because I will sit here and I will lecture, and y'all will just sit there and not say nothing. I will just keep on going and be all happy and perky and chipper. Grace straight. She went teacher mode on y'all. So y'all come and talk to me. Thank you, Stephanie, because now we know Stephanie has an ebook coming out, so now we can support her. And Stephanie, whatever you need from us, let us know. If you have questions, you. I will come on. You ask your questions. We got you, because we've all been down that road. But see, Stephanie is using her natural gift. She's taking something that she's passionate about and she's moving forward with it. But because she's passionate about it, because it's naturally in her, she's going to enhance what she's doing with AI, because in doing that, she's going to over deliver and over perform. Because see, what Stephanie don't know is with that ebook, what else can she do? Come on, y'all. We know. What else can she do?
She can do YouTube
I could
videos.
do
Book.
a course.
Yep,
I could create a course,
Yes,
and a
ma'am.
workbook.
There we go.
And a workbook.
a
She get-
YouTube video platform.
Right.
Multiple
Mhm.
streams of income.
Right.
Hey.
That's right.
She can
Yeah.
break it up and do different types of posts. So she,
Mhm.
to market the book and the ebook and everything
Mhm.
like that. 64
That's
pieces of
right.
content. Mhm.
You can even
Yeah.
like podcast it, talk about each chapter, how it impacts life, put
Mhm.
example to it. So she can do a lot of creative things with that. Good job.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thank
She's
you.
She's
And
gonna
you
turn
can
it
use
into her McDonald's pretty much. Yep. You
Yes,
can make
you want
fries
that
and a shake and an
and a
apple pie
shake.
with it. Yep.
and you can give it away, or you can use it as a place to to get people involved and have them sign up for your email, and you can get their information by compiling their information and giving them that. Then that's the piece that shows them that you know, they're gonna follow you because the ebook helped them, and then the next time they need something, you'll have their information so you can give it back to them, and it becomes your community.
There
Wow.
you go.
Good.
What
Yeah.
what generation did you say? Generation Z?
Z.
Z?
Z as in zebra.
Oh, Z is in deeper. What age? What is that generation? What's the years?
1997 to 2013, I believe.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I mean,
So
thinking how the pandemic has changed us. Can you imagine
Yep.
being the age of that generation is, how the pandemic, how they reacted to it, and what they're going through, and how it's going to affect them? That's incredible.
Yes, very true. Yep.
and then to go from such a social atmosphere as school with hundreds of kids to just being at home by yourself possibly, or being stuck with your parents all day. Now look, I love my parents, but don't no teenager want to be stuck home all day with their parents. Just like don't no parent want to be stuck at home all day with their kid. I love my kid, but sometimes I be waiting for Granny's text. Granny sent that text says, Shay, am I getting him this weekend? Yes, you are. But and because the parents don't know how to react and respond and control their own emotions, the kids don't know how to react, respond, and control their own emotions. Don is just 2 years shy of Z. He's 2 years shy. He was in 2015. I don't know what he is, but he one of those special kids. He not a pandemic kid, but he came out knowing phones. Okay, let me tell you something. Little boy, he was buying movies on his granny's TV at 2. I kept telling her, don't put that remote in his hand. you don't have charges on your account. Don't. But now Stephanie can take her passion and she can over deliver and overperform with AI because she's in her natural gift. You don't think about saving people and it's not a natural gift for you to do so. It's not a part of who you are.
Hey, Deanna,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. You
No,
said
no, no.
something about you don't know what he is. He is the beginning of the new. He is the beginning generation. I don't know what they're gonna call him because they're
It's
the change.
Generation
Like,
Alpha.
you know what I'm saying? Because they are the change. They are the new. Now, because if you see babies like as of today, babies are coming out walking. You know what I mean? Like if you're holding them up, they have they are ready.
They
When
talking too.
I told you, when I see babies, the babies are there. So Don is the beginning of that generation that can see it, that can know it. And that's why we have to get on our job. So Stephanie, you're right on point
Yes.
because somebody's gonna have to do something with them. But the ones that are coming out right now, oh, they ready.
They
They
are.
waiting on us. They waiting on us. So, but Don that is who he is because you can see it all in him. So yeah, that is what you got. Alpha, you say, Grace? Sound good to me. I like
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
That's
He act like
Genesis. Get it. Do it together.
that sometimes. Sometimes I gotta be like, okay, hold on. A mama. Sidebar real quick, won't take long. He come at me sometimes. He be like, bruh. I'm like, hold on. I'm not gonna be too many more bruhs, okay? A mama. And I turn right back around. Bruh, what's your problem? And he'll look at me like,
But you can get away with that. Don't do as I say. I mean, don't do as I do as I say do. So you can get away with that. He can't get away with that.
No.
He ain't grown enough.
But sometimes we'll talk. And one time he did something, and I was like, he's like, you just don't feel like it, mommy. I say, no, I don't feel like having this conversation with you. And he'll be, and one time he got quiet and he was like, mommy, I'm so sorry. What is my punishment gonna be? I'd be like, what you tell me? You tell me what your punishment should be. They're different. They're different. They're different. Miss Adrian, they are different. Because half the stuff he say, I was too afraid to even open my mouth. Did you just, mommy, this is what I said.
And
Watch your
they're not
tone.
being even disrespectful. They're just trying to figure it out. And it's the weirdest thing ever. And our generation, if we would have even have thought it, we could, you know, how your face would change. I see your face, change your face. I like all kinds of stuff. So because of the fact that they're communicating, we have to embrace that. And you know, our parents used to shut it down.
Yep.
Get out of here. What are you talking about? And then you would shut down and never say a thing again. You know what I mean? The next time you had a feeling, you'd be scared to say it. So now we've lived with all of these traumas of suppression, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, never disrespectful. And like you teach that, because in life he's going to see it, because unfortunately children don't have the parents that know. And so
Right.
because they've never seen what it looks like to not disrespect, their life is disrespectful. They don't even dig that they wrong until somebody else sees what they did and be like, why did you do that?
Exactly.
They thinking that it's normal. So we have to understand that. But yeah, as when you see the babies, talk to them. No more goo goo gagas, none of that. Have whole conversations with them, because they waiting for you to talk and they're learning. You know, so I know he tried you because he's around Mr. Tony. And Mr. Tony has told him that he's special. So when you're special and you know that you're special, you have the ability to do those things. And you encourage it. You know what I mean? You don't shut it down. I'm telling you, don't shut it down, because that's the scary part. Because then when they close out, then you be looking for Miss Stephanie's ebook.
Right. Like, Miss Stephanie, what's the name of your
Out, what can I say to this? Read these books. I mean, what? Yeah. So I mean, but it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Alpha. I like that though, because they should really call it that, because it's a new beginning.
It really is. And
Yeah,
thank
we can't keep having what we got. That thing ain't worth it.
what got you here won't get you there.
We ain't got another 10 years of that.
No.
Seriously. And they're not having kids. So if you think about it, the ones that are dying right now, they're not leaving seed. So we're losing. They don't even dig it. They dying and they haven't had children yet. So it's not like they got, so we're losing a whole generation of people. I mean, some of them, their parents probably shouldn't have made, but that's another thing. I'm sorry. See, you was talking real well and we wasn't saying nothing, and we was learning about the CEOs and all that. And then Grace came and said something about saying something, and now we done talked about everything else but them CEOs. You only talked about 3 of them. We got one more CEO to talk about, right?
But Adrian, parents are CEOs.
Every day, Jerome. See, this is why we can't talk, because then we go into something else. Next thing you know, it'd be 11, 12 o'clock. And see, but we are CEOs every day. And then, Jesus, we really are. That's a whole nother day. And with AI, but I can say that I love my AI. You know I do. I embrace my AI with everything. When people ask me questions, I go back to the chat, because I want to now make sure that what I'm talking about is not just what I'm talking about, but it's what the world's talking about. Because I know this AI was developed by somebody. You got me? So that's more than my mind on whatever it is that they're talking about. And well, you can see we have real conversation, because now it's not real bias, because it's my side, their side, and the they don't know where it's coming from, but it's good information and it's knowledgeable. And like Renee said, you know, when you get in front of the thing is only going to do but so much. And if you ask it the wrong way, it'll give you a template of how to do something, which then puts you back into square one. Because then you're like, well, I don't understand. Like, I didn't want that. I wanted you kind of to do it for me. But in order for it to do it for you, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to say what you're saying to it so that you can have a certain particular phrases in there, certain particular things, like whatever it is that you're doing. You have to feed that into it and then let it start to, you know, work. And then from there, like I said, once you get the first one, you can ask any question all the way down to, I told you, it all the way down to if I meet somebody in the elevator. You know how they say you need an elevator speech? You need
Yep.
all of this stuff. Like, can you take my 5 paragraphs and make it into an elevator pitch? Like, it'll do all of that. Like, and if you don't like it, tell it you don't like it. I need some more suggestions. And it'll give you more suggestions. If you want more suggestions or you want to go another way, you know what? I need to talk to people that have no idea of what I'm talking about. But I need them to understand. And then it'll write it again. Like, so if you get into the AI, because it's funny how when something is good for you, you know, they always going to tell you that is not good for you. They're always going to put the scare into it. The scare is good though, because that means you'll tread lightly by embracing it and making it your all. Because you don't want it to be your all in all, because then when they cut it down, then you don't have anything. You still want it to be yours. You know what I mean? So that it's enhancing any and everything that you're thinking about, even if it's just an idea. Like Miss Stephanie, you know, I really wish I could say something to these kids because they this, that, and the other thing. They're from this age group, and it's like, I don't really know, but I know that they're dealing with this. I know they're dealing with this, and I know they're dealing with that. And watch the thing just work for you. And then when you read what it says, then you can go in and ask a question about paragraph 2. Or if it gives you a list of 1 through 15 and you say, I like 14. Understand, I didn't write the whole sentence back in. I just said, I like number 14. It's going to take number 14 and then it's going to go from there.
Yep.
Like, get in with this AI. AI is, and you know, I'm all the way against it. How about that? Come on, God. All the
Look,
way
the
against it.
largest advocate for it. Come on.
But you understand, they didn't put it here for us, but understand, he says the enemies will make, you will end up becoming their footstools. And you have to have, you won't have your blessing until your enemies are around. Because it says he anoints my head in the presence of my enemies. Like, so whatever you get, you have to get them around all of these other things that are really against you. But if you put the light in front of it, everything will work. I'm being quiet now. I was good being quiet. I was listening to you. You was talking and everything.
That's good.
You ain't heard me say nothing. I was good. See?
No, that was awesome. No, that was awesome because, oh, go ahead.
No, just saying that was all good.
And what
What
that
I heard
does-
Adrian saying was, what you put in a good CEO is embracing it, not repelling it, not rejecting it, but embracing it. And then by doing so, it puts you in a position to overproduce and overperform. But you got to be willing to embrace it, not treat it as an enemy. I also love what she said about what Stephanie's doing with the kids in reference to, and she said to you, Deanna, about not shutting them down, but letting them ask the questions. Same way with the CEOs and with your business. Do you create an atmosphere in your business where your employees and those people who work for you can open up and say, hey, I'm using Chat GPT, but I got a problem here, or I'm using Chat GPT and I'm getting frustrated. But if you've embraced it as a good CEO, then you can guide them through Chat GPT. And because that's what Antonio did with us a while back, and it blew my socks off. and Adrian said it about feeding ChatGPT the right information so you can get what you need. And I went, and he did it in real time. And I put my hand on my mouth. I said, wow, that blew my socks off. That blew my socks off because it was right on the money. It isn't that it's not giving you what you want. It isn't that it doesn't have what you need. If you feed it the right information, it'll give you exactly what you want and more, and you're gonna get that money. Because that's what we all try to do. Yo, we trying to get that money. I'm trying to get that bag.
Come on. Look, me and Uncle Romy Rum we both gonna find a bag on the beach somewhere.
Hey, you guys, you guys can sing this song with me, like from the Players Club, the dollar bill, and they were like, money, yeah, money, yeah. That's what I'll be saying. I'll be like, yes, hit the money.
Come on. But all of this is wonderful. All of this is wonderful because you guys just described a great CEO. They not a good one, a great one. They stand out from the rest. They're continuous learners. They value academics, reading, nutrition, skill honing, current events, economic news, and customer feedback. They are proactive about adopting AI and see it as a strategic advantage, not just a technological upgrade. Like Uncle Romy Rum was saying, like Adrian was saying, you embrace it. Because when you embrace it, imagine Uncle Romy Rum is he slap you and hug you at the same time when he talk to you. I don't know how he do it.
He does.
I don't know how
It's really, I think, you know what I'm saying?
It really is. It's a natural gift for him. So imagine, because we know that he has accepted artificial intelligence. Imagine if Uncle Romy Rum takes his natural gift to hug you and slap you at the same time, and he enhances that with artificial intelligence. I can imagine it. That's one of my natural gifts. I can imagine it. Uncle Romy Rum gonna be on stages at colleges, high schools, elementary schools, wherever you think he gonna be on stage somewhere, gently hugging and slapping people at the same time. And afterwards, they gonna come up to him, they're gonna be like, Uncle Romy Rum, this is what you did for me. And he gonna be like, you know what? This feels good. Because he over-delivered and overperformed in his natural gift because he accepted, received, and embraced artificial intelligence.
Deanna.
Yes, sir. I didn't do it, Uncle Romy Rum. I didn't do it.
Yes, you did. You testifying on me. And something like that happened very recently to me with my niece. I'm not gonna give you the whole story, but I'll give you enough for this. My niece started a new job, which is great. That means she can pay the rent. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. And did that come out of my mouth? Okay. And she working at Johns Hopkins. And what happens is her daughter went to Ohio with her father, they're not together, to pick up the baby sister, which is 14. And they come back and she's on her first week of orientation. The next thing you know, she's getting a phone call from her sister saying, you need to go pick your daughter up from him or else I'm going to jail and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she calls her daughter. Her daughter said, the younger sister peed on the couch. Well, first they found her unresponsive on the floor, fluid in her lungs, and pneumonia. And they told the father, we're not giving her back to the mom. If you want her, you better come to Ohio and get her, or else we're gonna put her in the home. So they went and got her. So all this happened quickly. She peed on the couch, and because she's been abused, that's what people abuse do. He's chastising her. So my niece's daughter says to him, first of all, you ain't been a good father to me. And the reason she is peed on the couch, I'll clean it up, is because she was abused. Now you abusing her. And he said, you need to be in a child's place, went off on her. And next thing you know, he's talking about calling the police to lock her up. And this is the one who went to Ohio with him to get the younger sister. And now my niece is at her job first week. You don't need to be leaving him but like that. So she calls him and he's like, if you don't come and get your daughter, I'm calling the police. So she gets in the car to go get her daughter and she calls me. And she's fit to be tied. You blah, 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 blah. And she's making all these proclamations and he don't know who he messing with and blah, 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 blah. And I said, Sierra, you need to calm down. You need to get your head clear, blah, blah, blah. No, blah, 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 blah. I said, Sierra, you're not listening to me. I said, what I need to share with you is very, very important. But you're not listening to me. And I said, that's okay. So if you don't want to, that's fine with me, like that. No, Uncle Jerome. No, Uncle Jerome, go ahead. I'm listening. I said, Sierra, I'm not worried about you, and I'm not worried about your daughter. Both of y'all gonna be fine. You know who I'm worried about? I'm worried about that 14-year-old girl that they found unresponsive with fluid in her lungs and pneumonia and almost died. And as a result of what's taking place, she's here now. So she left an abusive situation. She's back in another abusive situation. And you're so angry with the father of your child that you're making proclamations that may end up putting that young girl in even graver danger. So what I'm worried about is her ending up dead here. And the moment I said that, she said, "You right, Uncle Jerome." I'm like, but the point was that I told her, you have every right to be angry and upset about what's going on. But I said, I'm worried about that 14-year-old child who, if you're not there in this situation, who's going to protect her now? She almost died there. And I know you don't want her to die here. And she got it. So when you said that, Deanna, about
Hugging and slapping at the same time.
exactly. But I had to love her and embrace her, but shake her and says, you are angry about your daughter and her and what this knucklehead has done. But if you don't think clearly, that girl could be worse off. And yeah, and I know you don't want that. And she didn't, and I knew that. It's still up in the air, but I just wanted to share that little story with you. And that just happened a week ago.
Wow.
Crazy,
No, thank you.
absolutely crazy. So thank you for the compliment, Deanna. And I didn't volunteer for that. That becomes my responsibility as an uncle, because my brother's deceased. So her and her sister, I'm basically I'm the uncle, but I'm the / father.
Understood.
All right.
Understood. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us, because you're telling us the type of CEO you are. And because you know the type of CEO you are, when you take that and you enhance that with AI, you over deliver and over perform. You didn't have to have that conversation with your niece. You could have easily been like, okay, well, be careful. I'm praying for you.
I have to add one more thing. I was on the phone with Melissa yesterday. Okay. We had a really good conversation. And part of our conversation was, Jerome, you know you're leaving money on the table. I said, no, she didn't. Oh, yes, she did.
That's not like Melissa.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
So by the time yesterday ended, I had some money in my pocket. This morning, I went out and I didn't get the money, but I got the book exposed. And I told both of them, I'm gonna catch you next Tuesday, because I'm there every Tuesday. And I said, and I'll have the credit card machine. No problem, no problem. But she was saying, Jerome, you leaving money. So that's the reason why I said about just before over delivering, I gotta deliver. I gotta get that money in my, like Stephanie said, Jerome, we gotta get that bag. So I had to share that too.
No, thank you for sharing that, because who you are to yourself is how you're going to respond to artificial intelligence. I see your hand, Renee. So if you are the ineffective CEO, guess how you're going to respond to AI? And remember, y'all, we're taking CEO and we're using it as you're the CEO of your life, your business, your family, you're CEO. So as CEO, are you the ineffective CEO? Are you the average, the good, or the great CEO? And Grace put them all in chat so y'all can go back and get the deets on that. And that's regarding in context to AI adoption. But when you understand who you are, you can control that and you can shift. If you're an average CEO, you can shift to a great CEO, because when you can account for it, you can control it. Again, I went through this process. I took me and Antonio, he taught me this over the weekend. I had to sit. And before I came to y'all, I had to sit and I read these and I'm like, man, what kind of CEO am I?
My Lord. So sorry, Demetri. So sorry.
Because if you can account for it, you can control it. If I'm an average CEO and I'm looking at what this says and I'm taking it out of AI and putting it into the whole aspect of everything, it's like, okay, if I'm an average CEO, something got to change because I don't want no average money.
That is a word right there.
I don't want no average output. Antonio says he can look in your bank account and tell you how many people you serve. The average CEO don't serve a lot of people. We know the ineffective CEO don't serve nobody. Average CEO gonna serve averagely. The good CEO gonna give some good service. But that great CEO, that turnaround on that return on investment, I don't want that. So what do I need to do? I need to account for the fact that I'm an average CEO. I need to control the fact I'm an average CEO. I need to pay attention to what my natural gifts are and use artificial intelligence to enhance that so I can overperform, so I can overdeliver. Go ahead, Renee.
Because we see so many you can see so many CEOs that, and I've seen some of it, it's just, they're like, they're not ahead of the curve. And that's why there's always another business that is going to be hungrier. It's kind of like Rocky, because I love Rocky. I'm sorry. And to me, it goes with a lot. But, what I'm saying, if you guys remember in Rocky 3, it was like Mr. T was working. He was in the gym working, but then Rocky was taking pictures, doing other stuff, but there's somebody that was coming up behind him that was even hungrier than he was. There's always going to be somebody coming up that's already going to know the tools, that's going to know and be putting them into action. And then that's how other businesses become obsolete. I never would have thought there'd be a day that there's not a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video, but those things is gone. My mom used to work for Blockbuster back in the day, and I would be like, man, it would be packed in there on a Friday because everybody would be going in there to get new releases. But look at it. It's gone. I mean, they've been gone for years. Netflix put them out of business. And then now it's like, we don't know. There's kids now, they don't know the days of going into a physical video store and buying a video. All they got to do is get out their tablets or get, and be like, oh, I want to watch a movie. Bam, it's right there. So you have to make sure that you are ahead of the curve, because somebody's coming that is hungrier, and you better make sure that you're a whole lot hungrier than they are, because it could become a memory if you're not careful. I'm not trying to be a memory. I need to get ahead. I need to be ahead of the curve so I can be like, okay, I know this is coming. I'm already putting this in to my business to know what it looks like, so that when people ask me questions, I'm like, that's what this looks like. This is how we're gonna do this for here. This is how we're gonna do it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure, because there's a lot of those businesses that are gone because they didn't want to understand, they didn't want to adjust to the technology, and technology has come and even farther in the past 20 years, really the past 5 to 10 years than it ever has. And people were like, even back then they were like, I don't want to do a website because the internet. And then I remember the Y2K craze and people going crazy about that. And I was like, and I thought to myself, it ain't going back to no 1900. And I was a teenager. I was like, it ain't going back to that. But you have to be ahead so many things. So I don't want to be no memory. I do not. 30 years, 40 years down the line, somebody's got to, even if I'm gone on, somebody's got to keep that futuristic mind, because we don't know what it's going to look like. Especially, I wonder what things are going to look like in the next 20 or 30 years. Good grief, I'm not even 40. I can only imagine what it's going to look like. But we just have to continue to stay ahead in every way, using all the stuff from AI and applying it to our business and making it geared up for the metaverse. So I just wanted to mention that.
No, that was a word. That was a word. You made me think about doomsday preppers. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Give me a second. I'm gonna break it down for you. First off, when Y2K came, you know what my first thought process went to? Okay, so for transportation, we need to find some horses. Then we need.
You know what? And I already thought, man, I'm already out of luck. I'm from Akron, Ohio. Where do I know some daggone horses? I guess I'll be walking. But I don't think I ever thought that far again. I was only about 13 or 14. So I was like, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
All the food was going at the store, though. I will say that people in Akron was scared, and I was like, I don't get the big deal. I guess it's probably being a teenager. You don't care.
You don't. That's again further solidifying. If you are a great CEO, your kids will be just as strategic as you. Now, mind you, I've always been that kid, okay? I've always watched the zombie movies and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, so if a zombie apocalypse breaks out, what's the best place for us to go? Like, I've always been that kid. Horses, gardens, all that stuff, living out in the country. That was me. I was upset when my dad told me he was going to buy some land in the country and never did. I was like, so you telling me I could have grown up in the country? Is that what you're telling me? I could have, and you didn't do that? But it makes me think of doomsday preppers. So I'm going to say this, and I want each of you to, as I'm talking about doomsday preppers, I want each of you to think of this as artificial intelligence and the future. Because Renee keyed in on something that Stephanie wrote down. Stephanie said, that's good, being ahead of the curve, thinking of tools that will be useful for the next generation. What she said made me think of Uber evolution from individual cars to now Uber charter. Sidebar thought. No, Stephanie, that's not a sidebar thought. That is a front of the line thought, because doomsday preppers stay ahead of the game. You think they're crazy until they're not.
That's true.
Artificial intelligence is the same thing. We think it's crazy until it's not. See, now it's not crazy because we got stuff we doing that we would have never thought about doing without artificial intelligence. But before, it was like, man, what? The artificial, what? Oh, that's that stuff. That's like that robot from our robot, they're gonna be killing people and they're gonna be doing all this and they're gonna turn against us, and then you got the robots from the Matrix. Then you got the artificial intelligence from like Marvel, where he decided, we was the disease, so he's gonna kill off all the humans. That's our thought process of artificial intelligence. But if we are ahead of the game, if we are ahead of the curve, if we're learning and educating and we educate those under us, We can consistently stay ahead of the curve, and we will be prepped for when the time comes. Antonio knew about ChatGPT. He knew about the artificial intelligence back in November. And then if I remember correctly, Mr. Phil sent him, or either Mr. Phil or Miss Susan sent him an email or a text message about ChatGPT, and then it was over. But that was before it became this globally, I see your hand, Miss Sandra, this global thing that now everybody's using, so much so to the point where now they're trying to ban it because it's too much. It's don't nobody want to work anymore. But that's what you do. That's what ineffective CEOs do. Great CEOs understand, okay, you a student, you need to write a 40-page essay. You need to write your thesis. You're not trying to handwrite all that stuff. But the least I can do is teach you how to use ChatGPT to make sure you get the best when you use it to write your thesis, because you have to, like Adrian was saying, you have to feed it. So whatever comes out of it, you still did the work. You had to tell it what you wanted it to say. So you use your natural, go ahead. Wait, who's
Miss
that?
Deanna,
Yes, ma'am. And then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I'll say go ahead, Mr. Donnie, and then after Mr. Donnie, Miss Sandra.
Here's what's interesting. I had a conversation with someone in the office about her child getting in trouble for using chat. Here was the conversation. Do we not Google everything? Or let me just be real old and go back in the day. It's called an encyclopedia for those of you that don't know what an encyclopedia is. It's when you had to go to the library and you had to do some research and you had to get a book that will give you the information that you were looking for so you can write your paper. It's no different, because still it's my imagination or my questioning that's getting the information, and these kids are getting in trouble for cheating. I'm still trying to understand, how is that cheating? Because as long as they do some editing and add a little bit of their little flair to it, I don't understand. We pulled stuff out of an encyclopedia back in the day. What's the difference? Just saying.
I had the whole Britannica. Oh, we lost Miss Sandra. I had the whole Britannica set. Before I was birthed, it was gifted. Okay? And every time we had to do something, my mama and my dad would say, go look it up.
Yep.
Come on. You was in my house too.
I think we was all raised in the same house. We was all raised in the household of the Sorrentinos that gave us freedom and told us be imaginative and go look everything up. That's household we all grew up in. That's why we're here today.
It's hard to embrace it for the instructors and everything, because the instructors know the work that they had to put in it. So what they're saying about like the cheating and stuff, to go with Adonia's point, it's like, if you can ask the computer and the computer can give you the answer, what kind of work did you really do? You just asked it a question. Unfortunately, this is where the world is coming. You know what I mean? Like now, like she said, we used to have to look it up because it made sense, because then not only were you learning what you were looking up, but you were learning, you were doing your alphabet, because remember the lead words, like, so you knew which page you needed to go on in the dictionary to get it, so you knew how to spell the word, so that, you know what I mean? So now they're not getting any of that. They're getting the information, but they're not getting the learned it part. It's like math with the calculator is always easy, and they can always come up with the answer. But that's why the teacher used to always say, show your work.
Yep.
Because if you show me your work, then I know you know step by step how to do it. Because the day that you put it in the computer wrong, you coming up with the wrong answer. And then you, as the adult, like, have you ever stood in the line? I know this is kind of wrong, but have you ever stood in the line and watched the cashier and they put the money in, but they didn't see how
don't
much
know what
the
to
change
change.
was
Right.
Right. And you see like everything just like canceled. You be like, oh baby, it's okay. Like you really want to like step by step and help them, but then you can realize that they don't know how to count change to dollars, and it's like, oh shit, oh God, how much did I give this girl? You know what I mean? Because you wasn't paying attention. But that's why they have not embraced that chat GPT, because the kids learn the simplest way to do it, and then we have just dumb simpleton adults. And unfortunately, that's
I
why the
love that you said,
computers.
Adrian, I love that you said that. I love that you said that. But here's the thing. This is just my brain, and my brain is a little special. So here's the thing. What you said, 100. But when they do the paper, who's not to say that you still ask them, what did they learn? What information can they take from that and create a new now? How does it impact their life now? You still dialogue with them. So if we challenge that, you still make them use their brain. Why did you ask this particular question? Or why do you agree with it or you disagree with it? It's still an opportunity to learn. But goodness gracious, if I can get this paper knocked out and learn something, I can read the information and learn something from it. So I still think, yes, you're right. I do believe it does kind of lazy our brain, but our educators could help enhance that by challenging the status quo. I love what you just said. I love that because it's truth to that, but also opportunity in it as well.
I'm with you, and that's what I think that's what she's teaching us, because that's about embracing the AI. So when the teacher embraces that AI and brings it into the classroom, that's when that will happen. And then they will be learning, and they'll be learning together. Because I'm telling you, like Jerome said, when Antonio first started doing this, and I was looking and I was thinking, and I said, ain't no way in the world. But then it was coming up, and like Deanna said, I have a problem writing as much as I love to write. So then I have to write it and then type it. So now I'm doing extra work, but now I don't want to type the whole thing. So now with the chat, it types it. I love it because it types it. And then I can copy and paste it and do whatever I need to do, break it down. And I love it because it types it, So I listen, I'm all for Chat GPT and helping you. But when it comes down to you being a damn simpleton, I'm gonna tell you, put that computer away, because I need you to be able to use half of your brain when you out here in this world, because everybody is not using the damn computer. And so if I mean, it's beautiful, but I'm telling you, it's one of the funniest things in the world when you stand at that register and you watch that kid and they didn't get that money, and they just like, they have no idea, and it's just like, yo, we in trouble. Like we in trouble. Like count this change with her so she can learn it and then go back and now teach it to somebody else, because it's like this is the first time they ever did that. So but hey, until all old people die, we cannot get rid of everything that they've taught us. That's as simple as that. Until all old people die, and we is always gonna be here, because I'm then gonna be one of them old people, and then the next generation, they gonna be them old people. So until all old people die, everything can't be new. Our robot was on yesterday too, so watch it.
Oh,
They
wow.
starting to put it back in the run. Watching these movies, they gonna tell you all about Sonny. That's his name, Sonny Dion.
Sonny.
His
Sonny was
name
his
is Sonny.
name. His name was Sonny. Go ahead, Grace.
Adrian, too funny.
Oh, and then after Grace, Mr. Phil.
If I was still teaching in the classroom today, because I never stopped teaching, but if I was in the classroom today, I would have no choice but to embrace Chat GPT, and here's why. Even if my school district was like, no, they can't use it, I know my kids don't use it. I can't stop them from using it. So all I would do is in the curriculum, in the lesson plan, whatever your assignment is, and you want to use ChatGPT, cool. But like Adonia was saying, put something, that's good, Stephanie, AI for the classroom. Put something in the assignment to where you have to explain it to me. Like I teach math. So the whole show me your work part, I know you're gonna put these problems in ChatGPT. So your assignment is, yes, do this homework, but when we come to class, oh, I'm gonna be the student, you're gonna teach today. Because I didn't know that you got this. I'm gonna be a student and I'm gonna act just like you. And you're gonna be me. And so that would in that way, they'd be like, oh man, I just can't put these answers in there and get this. I actually have to show my classmates because there are gonna be some people who didn't get the correct answer. And if you did get the correct answer, come on up here and show us how you got it. So you have to just make stuff interactive for kids and continue to make it fun for them. But then, yeah, let them know, hey, ChatGPT is cool, but you got to know this for yourself too. So
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Fields. I want to show somebody something. I want to show y'all something I just did using ChatGPT and math. Go ahead, Mr. Fields.
Well, a few things. Number one, the Y2K thing was actually amazing. It taught us a valuable lesson. There were countries where they were killing each other, but in back rooms, they're sitting down with their enemy, working on how are we going to fix this Y2K. So it was a uniting factor, and that's what the pandemic has done, and that's what AI has done. It's been a uniting factor. There are 9.9 million job openings right now. There are 5.8 million people that are unemployed. So if we give everybody a job, we'd still have 4.2 million job openings.
Wow.
So we have to re-educate our educational system. And what are we teaching people? Are we teaching them to get good enough to go to college, then get a degree and then figure it out after that? Or we say, here's what you need to do and here's your job skills to do it. So what we need to make sure that we do as we go through this, that we focus on love. And that's why I may give a plug, the Politics of Love on Mondays. We're going through this book, and this is a book that's going to unite us and keep us to believe in love. Is going to be able to defeat the guys that believe in fear.
So what chapter are you all on, Mr. Field? Like, are you just like in the first? Because it's been how many? Chapter 2. I got the audio book.
Yeah, we're fight the. Let me see here. Yeah.
So
Smoke them if you got them.
while he's
Yeah, I just wanted to
looking,
see how far to listen to.
yeah, Grace knows exactly.
Reclaiming our revolutionary spirit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for getting the audio.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
for those
easy because I have like 12 credits.
Oh, wow. For those of you that haven't been on, we go through it. We listen, and then we discuss. We'll listen for a bit and then we stop and discuss. So you can come not having listened to anything or bought anything, because we're going to do it right there. I mean, it's nice to have if you can or want to, but you don't have to at all. There's no homework or anything like that.
Oh, that's great to know. And it's at 5:30 on Mondays?
Yes, ma'am. 5:30 Central Standard Time.
yeah.
Okay,
6:30 Eastern.
okay.
You guys just want me just to leave my job because all that stuff is during my work hours. I see how you are.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Adonia.
try. That's
Adonia.
2:30 for me, so that's not easy.
Yeah.
Adonia. The last time we talked, your company hired a consulting firm to work with your people. Have you been learning anything from them?
Oh goodness, my goodness, that has been it's been real
Good.
interestingly very well.
Good. And then
So,
when you're
okay,
ready,
I'm gonna learn.
And then when you're ready, we're gonna have our practice. So when you go in there, they're gonna be your first client.
I still think I might have you do that even before I'm ready per se, from a
Yeah,
I think
whenever.
because
Just let me know.
I'm in some conversation. Yeah, I think there's some good benefit of having this conversation and planting the seeds now sooner than later.
Right.
So I would love to do that. I appreciate you for that offer.
Just let me know.
There you go, big sis. There you go, big sis.
Don't retire. Come on over.
Yeah, before us old people die.
Thanks, Adrian.
Well, okay, so with
Old people are living longer, living into their 90s and some in their hundreds.
very much so.
Yeah,
Very-
because we have to pick their brain really well before they leave here.
yes, we do.
That's what I was saying, y'all. If y'all didn't hear me, I meant that we can't do anything because there will always be older people. So as long as there's older people, and we are talking about like a chat GPT, that 99-year-old is going to outlap the chat GPT. However, if you have the conversation with the 99-year-old, with the chat GPT, even the 99-year-old will be like, what it say? And then then it starts to make sense, because right now what we're doing is we're trying to make them the obsolete, and they're always here, and they are, like Michelle just said, the source of all information. So the new generation is thinking that chat GPT has all the answers. So now what we then have to do is source the chat GPT, the younger generation, with our older generation, so that we can see how intergenerationally we can work. And that is then what Phil's talking about, where you'll see what love really looks
And where did
And
all
you-
that information come from that's on ChatGPT? From older generations.
like. Exactly.
That's a
Somebody
good
plugged
one.
it in.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Somebody plugged it in. And well, I guess it's funny because if you ask real old questions, you can get good answers. But if you ask more up-to-date questions, a lot of times the AI, it will tell you it's an AI and it can't get into that. Like, so like sometimes like I like it when it stops me, because remember I laugh because it's got morals and values. Like this thing won't let you go but get so far, so it doesn't write in offensive language. It won't say curse words. The other day it wrote something and it like gave me the asterisk, like when the computer won't say the curse word, but it'll give you the first and the last, and then it was like star 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 star. Like so it does all of that. I mean, but you can always go back and, like, if you're in your descript and you put it in a descript, then you can go in and put the word in. But the computer says it, like the AI generated voice will say the word. That's what I've learned. Look, I'm trying to make the AI real, real, like real, real. It's real for them that and program it, but now I need it to be real for the goons too, so it can talk to the goons. But it's fun. It's fun. You got to embrace it though. I'm telling you, embrace it. And
Yes.
then what I realized is that every chat that you do, like when you go in, if you look in your old chats, everything that you've ever asked it is logged in. And
Yeah.
so if you go back to something from like the first chat that you did and you pull that up, and then you start to ask like, okay, that was the one that you think you wanted to build a course of. You can have all that information in there and then start the new chat and say, now with this information above, like, let's build a course, and then it'll build it. So it's like that's what I've been learning. Like you can go back into your archives and then it will still go back and build it again for you. It won't remember it, but if you pull it back up, it will then act like you were it's in the same day. So embrace it, have fun. If I could embrace the other parts of it, then I could be, I guess, one of these CEOs and be out here teaching people how to have fun with it, because I'll be cracking up.
And can I just add to what I was saying earlier? When I introduce ChatGPT to any of my like niece, nephew, whatever, and even some of my adult family members, what was in my mind is, I think Miss Deanna mentioned something about regulating or whatever, is that I figured that was going to come really soon, or they were going to try to make it hard. And as Mr. Antonio said, it has even the playing field for us. So I tell my family and friends, like, look, get in and get what you can, because I've been sitting on like 4 books that I have that's been penned, and none of them were completed. And so it's like, hey, if you plan on writing a book, plan on doing this, it's on things that we've discussed. Like, look, get in and get what you can, at least get your information and save it. If it's on a USB drive or on your hard drive. And so when that time comes, I know it's not going away, but then when it comes where the regulations come in or they try to make it hard or difficult, add some rules that will put us back in a position where it's hard to access or whatever, a challenge, you know, you'll have your information already stored and you can keep it moving.
There you go. There you go. And each person has given an example of a CEO. The ineffective CEO, be like, man, I'm not even gonna worry about it. The average CEO, you know what? I'm gonna use it, but I'm not gonna, you know, just really just dig into it. The good CEO, okay, look, if we work on it back here, then our external performance will be awesome. But the great CEO is a consistency in that. And when it comes to the kids, great. I'm so happy, Grace. Oh, thank you, Grace. Because if not only and Miss Adonia and Miss Adrian, and thank you, Aunt Shelley, Miss Susan, Mr. Phil, if you not only interact with them and ask them questions about it, but as a teacher, if you teach them how to properly use it, then you don't need, you know they're using it, but you're teaching them how to use it so it comes out in their voice. So when it comes time to read the reports, you're like, okay, Patrick, you did good. You did good. But the whole last 2 pages, what prompt did you use? Because this don't even match. You know? What prompt did you use? Didn't I tell you how to prompt this? Look, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Turn it in the morning. If you don't have it to me in the morning, I'm gonna have to say you plagiarized. I'm gonna have to say you used it. So do what I taught you. When I taught you how to use the prompts, go write these last 2 pages, get back to me. If you need a pass to go to the library, do what you gotta do, email it to me, do something, okay? But if you teach them properly, you won't even have that issue. And Adrian and Grace, let me show y'all something. Let me just go look at this right here. Look at that right there. I'm just gonna leave that right there. I asked them what is 23,099 times 840. It gave me the answer. Then I said, please show the work. Now, I know my work is spelled a little flipped, so I was typing fast.
It's all right. It's all right.
Thank you. But look.
Wow.
It showed the work.
Listen, okay.
Shifted one place to the left. If you properly prompt ChatGPT, it will give you what you want.
But now, Deanna, ask it to break it down. But like what? I don't understand.
I don't.
You know what, Adrian, for me, I would ask it in order, tell me what each step is in order. Because I'm that person of information anyway. It needs to be logical for me. So I would ask it, what's step 1? You need to take this number and you multiply by whatever. Okay, how do you multiply? You know, I would break it down to a 2-year-old can understand. But the fact that chat can do that, I think
it's about to do it. That's what I said. Look, it's about to do it. Because you'd be like, what the hell was that? It apologized and said, my fault. Here you go. This is how it go. And this is what it looked like. And now you can actually do it. Now that's called learning. Now I didn't put anything into the chat because I put it in the chat to get the answer. But yet still, as I'm breaking it down, it's telling me how to do it. And now guess what I'm doing? I'm actually learning how to do it. See, and that's what the teacher hasn't done. The teacher hasn't done that yet. They've all just automatically say, "Oh, it's cheating." Like, so they haven't even gone.
But isn't that beautiful though? It is so beautiful because
love.
I'm still forced to learn, because now that I know how to do it as a teacher, I can say, okay, I'm gonna give you another similar problem, and I'd like you to do it in front of the class. Let's all walk through it. I'm still learning.
It's even
We're
better learning
missing an
'cause they're
opportunity. I
not
wish I
listening.
was a teacher now. We're missing an opportunity. I really believe. Okay, maybe I don't, because no, I don't, because yeah, these kids are hard. Yeah, no. But anyway, because I don't want to be their counselor too, but and they parent and they doctor. Okay, anyway, yeah. But
Doctor,
but
lawyer,
I love our
investigator.
teachers. I love our teachers.
But whoever that lady was that you were having the conversation with about their child, you can go back and you can show that to them. And so that way that can help that child, because what, like I was saying in the very beginning, no matter what they do, even if it's wrong, we want to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing, as opposed to shutting them down and getting them in trouble. Because once we get in trouble, then we're done. But like, if you're smart enough, you're not going to keep getting in trouble. So maybe that can help. Maybe that can help that parent and that child then maybe even have more conversation with the teacher or something. So it doesn't seem like he's doing something wrong, because he's not doing something wrong. The teacher is wrong because the teacher has not evolved with everything else that's going on.
I think it's
But
just
maybe that is
perspective. We're so old school and used to what it used to be. We're not in used to be no more. Used to be is gone, buried and gone. Used to be don't live here no more. It is what it is. Today is today. The now is now. AI is here, and it may take over the world. Get over it and ride the wave. Go with it.
There you go. There you go. So we got 9 minutes left. So y'all give me 9 minutes. As you see, understanding the type of CEO that you are has a major impact on your embracing of artificial intelligence. When you understand what type of CEO you are, you can control that. So if you are the average CEO, you can become the good CEO, and you can perform and deliver first to yourself using your natural abilities and move yourself to becoming a great CEO. Because again, what does a great CEO value? They're continuous learners. They value academia, reading, nutrition, skill honing, current events, economic news, and customer feedback. So when you move from the average CEO to the great CEO, being the CEO of your life, you now understand, okay, these are my natural gifts. How can I use artificial intelligence to enhance my natural gifts so I can over-deliver and overperform? You've all given amazing, whether you guys caught it or not, which I'm sure y'all did, because this is a highly intelligent group of people. We wouldn't be here if we were not. I said we on purpose. We've all given examples of different types of CEO. You have the ineffective CEOs, teachers who just don't care, brush it aside. The ones who are like, no, we're going to ban this. Ineffective CEOs. Then you have the average CEOs. Well, I know it exists, but I'm not going to teach y'all nothing about it. Then you have the good CEOs. You know what? I want to make sure everything internally flows well. So let me learn it to the best of my ability so I can make sure that we got this straight. Then you have the great CEO. You know what? This is the top AI software. I'm learning it. I'm going to pay to have all you learn it. I'm gonna have someone come in here and train us, or we're going to train ourselves. We're all going to know it so we can all embrace it, because I want to make sure that y'all all get 100s on your reports this year. How about that? Because I don't feel like failing anybody. Which CEO are you? Once you realize the type of CEO you are, you can now function in your natural gifts because you've acknowledged the fact, okay, I suck. I need to work on this area. So how can I use artificial intelligence to enhance this area so I can go from being an average CEO to a great CEO. And now that I've used artificial intelligence to shift me here, now I don't have as much stress on me because I've learned how to delegate. Uncle Roman Rome said that earlier. I've learned how to delegate. I've taught my entire team the same stuff I know. So now I can function in my natural abilities, and now I can over deliver and I can overperform because everybody around me is on the same level as me. There's not one person under, not one person above. We're all on the same level because we all have the same training and education. So now I can work in my natural gift and enhance my natural gift with artificial intelligence. Again, if you're a writer, if you are a natural writer, you are not cheating. You are not doing the work. You are enhancing your natural gifts using artificial intelligence. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who think artists who use Midjourney are cheaters, or writers who use ChatGPT are cheaters. No, I had to develop a new skill in order for me to be able to do what I do. See, I can't just go into ChatGPT and say, give me this, because that's all it's going to do. It's not going to be catered or toned to me, my brand, or anything. So what do I have to do? I have to learn how to properly talk to ChatGPT so my natural gift can come out. Remember when I used to tell y'all, talk to ChatGPT like you talk to Santa Claus? You have this long, extreme list for Santa Claus. Or when we used to write letters, people have 5-6 page letters for Santa Claus. Santa Claus, I want the Barbie dream house. I want the 2-story Barbie dream house. Then I want the Barbie speedboat. And I want Ken. Ken has to have a friend. So I need a Ken and his friend. Then Barbie has to have all of her friends, And then Barbie has a little sister. So I need you to give me Barbie's little sister. And then they have to have the picnic. So I want the picnic set. And Barbie has to drive around. So I need the car as well. And then, Barbie has the dream house, but Barbie also has the cabin because, they have vacation spots. So I'm going to need the cabin too. And then, Barbie has this new van too. So I'm gonna need the van because when Barbie and all her friends travel together, they all can't fit in the convertible. Y'all don't laugh. Y'all know those letters be long like that. Well,
I know that you got all the info too on Barbie.
It really makes me sad, Deanna, because I never got any of that, and all I wanted was a my size Barbie, and I never got one. So you're rehashing a really soft spot in my life that I thought I had.
Deanna,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to help you. I didn't mean to trigger you, Renee. I'm so sorry. I wanted the life size doll too. Well, see, I had a cousin who had she had a community of Barbies. And I had a family of Barbies. So my family would come to her community sometimes, and I had the picnic table and I had the speedboat. But she had the house and the van. So, it's the combination of things, and then, she had the pool. She had the pool. So, I would bring the picnic table. She would bring the pool. I'm just saying. So, I used to be a Barbie girl back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you talk to Carlos, ChatGPT, excuse me. I am building a business. Put in the description of your business. I need this to be done. I need to hire this position. I need to do that. Or I have no clue what I am doing. This is the business. This is what it's for.
That is my prompt almost all the time. Yes.
Can you help me structure this company? What should give me a step-by-step process on how I should build this company? And guess what? Based on what you give ChatGPT, it will help you. See, the company comes from your natural gifts. AI puts structure on your natural gifts so you can continue to build on that gift. There's a lot of stuff that I have in my notes. There's a lot of conversations I've had with ChatGPT. And they all came from a place of, I'm curious. The kid in me want to know how to do this. So can you break this down?
I got one for you.
Go
You know
ahead.
how they're giving out, well, I'm in the PA area, but right now because of all of the violence and everything, they're giving away money. So if you see the things and they're like, we got a grant for $25,000, you know, and the whole whatever, and you go to say, I want to do that and I think I can do it. But then there's a place where they're asking you about what would you do with the money. You know, you can ask Carlos, or I call him Chibit, but you can ask them. I have, you know, I'm getting I want the grant for $25,000. How do I break it down? It can break it down for you, tell you how much of money allotted for this and that, and then you can go into it. Sometimes they want a calendar, you know, or it will tell you if you're applying for this grant that it's a good idea to have a little bit of this in there, a little bit of that in there, and a little bit of this in there. And you should want to put this in there to summarize and make it like it'll break it all the way down. Then as you break it all the way down, then you can ask, well, I need a calendar. You know, so then I'll tell you within these 3 months, you'll be doing this. And then these 3 months, you'll be doing that. So it's like you can be applying for the grant, but meanwhile, learning how to implement the grant at the same time. You know what I mean? But the people that you are applying to, they don't know that part. But when it comes down to you then getting the money, you don't have to worry about just being willy-nilly with the money, because now you can actually go back and follow the outline, and it's telling you what to do, how to do, where to do. And then even if you need to know, who do I go, who should I shop this with, like, you know, or like what's it, the avatar, like your customer. A lot of times we have things and then we don't know who is it actually for. You can ask the computer, who would my target be, if you
Yep.
don't know your target. And then it'll break down the target, and then you say, okay, well, I like that, but I want it to be even smaller. And then it'll break it down. Like, so when I tell you that if you decide that this is what you want to do and you have no idea how to do it, Chibit, Carlos, ChatGPT is the way to go, because that is how you use your brain and your function. Like, you tell them what you're good at. I like to do this. I like to do that. I like to do this. So the way that it structures it, it's going to be in all of your key areas, and then it'll even tell you how to do the other stuff if you don't know that. And if you don't know that, then you go and say, I don't know that. Who do I find to get that? And then it'll give you different people, you know, or say you need to hire this person or you need to do this. And, you know, so that's because that was always my concern. I never, like, I might have an idea, but I don't know the first step to do any of it.
You're not alone.
So Chibit he helps me break it down. And then, like I said, and then once it breaks it down, if there's a particular section in there that you don't understand, or you can actually just go back. If it says that you need to have, you know, you should do this and you should have activities and you should do something, then to just ask the question, do you have an example of some activities? And then it'll give you activities, you know. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And then I guess once you have it all together, and then if you want to say, okay, I want to make this a course, let's do some names, you know, and then it'll give you some name suggestions. And then what I do from the name suggestions is you might only use one, but all of the suggestions are good, because now you can take those suggestions and go and say, let's write an editorial on this or something. And then you can upload it to Medium, because now you have a whole lot. You know how it says like you want to be in the genre. So the genre is that, but now you have 10 different ways of saying what you're saying, because they just gave you 10 different options of what you were talking about, you know. So then you can enhance it even more, and it's all from the Chat GPT. And y'all hear me talking, right? I love y'all because I can talk about it. I can't do it. So I have all of this shit in my thing, and it's like there. But one day it's gonna all work out. And that's why I say I do what I can do, what I can't do. Like, that's how I liked how you started it, because it was like you have to know exactly who you are, where you are, to embrace what you were saying about the CEO. And then if you need to move from one place or you need to get better in another, you can dig into it but the chat GPT is going to help you in anywhere that you are to get to the next level.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Come on, Miss Adrian. Miss Adrian be holding back. Miss Adrian be out there. She not playing with none of y'all. Go ahead, Miss Stephanie.
I really love what Adrian was saying in regards to, like just kind of finding your niche. And I worked directly with the CEO for a nonprofit organization. And I did a lot of the HR and things like that. And while I was there, because while you're somewhere, you're always telling us what are we learning? What can we learn from them? What can we improve? And one thing that I realized that they needed help with was updating their handbook, their manuals. And I just plugged in Chat GPT for a small nonprofit organization in this particular area or field or service that they're providing for the community to help get a more detailed, a more structured handbook because it's kind of everywhere. So, just finding those small niches that could take you, to the bags and to the suitcases. So you have a lot of it there. It's just finding what it is that you can help someone in. So if you can help society, then you become very valuable to the world around you. And Chat GPT will help with that because it enhances your value.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of y'all for joining me this morning. Thank you all for your words and your speaking. Thank you all for just being here and not being the what's the first CEO again? I forgot.
Ineffective.
Thank you. Thank you all for not being ineffective CEOs. But now that we know and we understand.
After Grace threatened us, we did the right thing.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I texted Antonio to update him. And I told him what happened.
Jerome, she put the fear of God in all of it.
That was that teacher.
Let it be known, like the substitute teacher. That's okay. Because if I write your name on this list, your teacher gonna get the name. So you don't want to make this list because your teacher will be backing off.
Hello, Miss Adrian. I do not want to be on that list. I was telling Grace the other day I got in. I had a mouth as a child.
She still got one. Don't let it fool y'all. Okay.
I do. It's worse because I'm an adult now. I'm an adult now, so it's like, hey, I've lived a few years. And I was telling Grace a situation that happened in school because the teacher before I told Grace about a couple of incidences that happened. Both of them happened in first grade. I had a substitute teacher who, let's just say I was told to do something. And before my teacher left, she told me this is what we were doing, something completely different. So the substitute said, well, no, we're going to do this. I was like, no, that's not what my teacher told me we were doing. Well, this is what she left for you. I said, no, that's not what she left. It's on her desk. It's in the red folder. She was like, there was no red folder on the desk when I got here. It's like, well, I know you're lying because she showed me the folder. She showed me what we were doing. Like there were copies made and everything.
Did you tell the sub? I know you lying.
She said she had them out.
She did, Uncle Ron. She did.
I mean, but I thank all of y'all because once you realize who you are you the ineffective CEO Are you the average, the good, or the great CEO? Embracing AI is just like how everything else has gone. Something new comes out. Love you too. Love you more, Miss Adonia. Please be careful. Please be safe. Have a beautiful day today. Once you embrace that and you go into artificial intelligence and you use it, I guess what I'm really trying to say is be you without the filters. Be you without whatever you have going on when you approach artificial intelligence, because it'll enhance who you naturally are. Just like it'll enhance every time you touch a keyboard, you're putting out there who you are. So if you're not your natural self, that's going to come out. So you can't go to artificial intelligence not fully you, because that's what's going to come out. You're not going to get everything you want to get out of it. You're not going to, the verbiage is going to come out wrong, because you're going to be either too afraid you're putting in the wrong information, or you're not going to put in enough information. But if you just be you, if you're inquisitive, be inquisitive. If you're straightforward, be straightforward. This is what I'm doing. This is what it is. Give me what I want. Or, man, I'm trying to build this and I have no clue what I'm doing. Can you please help me? Or, I want to love on the world and I want to bring sunshine and rainbows and unicorns to everybody. How can I do that? But go your natural self. Over deliver, over perform, use artificial intelligence to the best of your abilities, and just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Grace, I see your hand is up and you have the final words, and we're going to shut this down for the day.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted everybody to know that I will be putting the notes in the official Antonio T. Smith Jr. fan club page. If you've never been there to get the notes, when you get there, you see this top up here where it has discussion, look for players, featured members, media files. Just look for this, click on files, and every document that you want is here. All you gotta do is click on it. You click on it there, and it'll get you to your notes. Like mine, it tells me right here, it's downloaded in my downloads page. But every file you want, every note, every document will be right here. So I just want to make sure people understood how to get there.
No, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because while I am somewhat internet savvy, I did not know that. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't know. So Grace, thank you. All
Very
right,
welcome.
Mr. Phil.
We have Stacy tonight.
That's right. Tracy will be speaking tonight on the Bureau keynotes.
I was about to
17.
say, Stacy, who's the Stacy? I know I've been missing classes, but is it a Stacy? Okay. All right.
Just seeing if you're paying attention.
Come on, Mr. Phil, test us. Make sure we got this right. Make sure we paying attention.
Please join at 7 p.m. I'll put it in Discord and then send everyone, send it individually to everyone the call information for the Bureau keynote, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
All right. Well,
And we start on time. The speaker starts on time, so you don't want to miss any of her
Yeah.
speech. So be there.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. I will see you all in the morning. We're gonna be awake. Make sure y'all get your, huh?
So you gonna see us at 7?
No.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you're
I'm
not gonna
gonna see
You said you'll see us in the morning.
I'm gonna see y'all at 7. I did that yesterday too. Something happened, and I was like, no, it's in the morning. It was like, no, I was like, oh yeah, we got one more call. I will see you all tonight at 7. Thank you all so very much. I will, okay, so see you at 7 tonight. See you at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Uncle Jerome, I'm still trying to wake up. I've been up since 4. This is the longest I've been up. Well, actually 5:15. This is the longest.
Deanna, I didn't go to sleep last night.
Oh,
See, as I was listening to you say that, I'm like, well, she don't. And when I tried to go to sleep, I couldn't. So when I can't go to sleep, I work. Okay, and I enjoy it. Hello.
See, and because you enjoy it, you gonna over deliver and you gonna over perform. Thank y'all. Okay, so tomorrow morning, y'all, we gonna be get your coffee, get your breakfast. Y'all can eat on camera if you want to. Just I don't care. I eat, okay? So bring your meals, bring your breakfast, and we gonna talk about this because we have an advantage. So let's use it. You can plan better. You can dominate. See you all in the morning. Love you all.
Love you more.
Love you more.
She did it again, Romeo.
What I do?
See you in the morning. See you in the
Oh,
morning.
yes. I'm sorry. See y'all at 7.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.